Now, once you have distributed your survey, the next step is to analyze the responses. And you can analyze them right here inside Google Forms. Just click over to the Responses tab, and you can see the different responses to your questions, plus any email addresses that were submitted. So you can analyze them here, and this can be fun to look at as the responses are coming in. But what I would recommend you do is wait and see when the responses stop coming in. You'll notice that because this number stops going up, and that'll probably be 1 to 2 days, depending on how much you've promoted the survey. So to look at it in a deeper level and really analyze it, I would recommend you view the responses in Google Sheets. Open that up right away. And the first thing that you want to do is select the top row here. And what you want to do is really put on a filter. Now, the reason you want to do this is because we want to filter down our responses and really just look at the responses that say people have a problem that they found very difficult to resolve. Now, why are we doing that? Well, remember, if we want to create a successful product or service, or even a piece of content like a blog post or a video, we need to be solving problems that are not well solved in the marketplace. And that's why we really want to focus on this. And you can see if we scroll down here, just to the third response to give you a visual, we can see that around 40% of the answers, people said it's a very difficult problem for them to solve. So by just filtering that there, we have removed 60% of the problems that people don't think are that important or not that hard to solve. And we're just focusing on 40%, which for this survey is about 80 responses as opposed to over 200. So it just makes it easier to analyze it as well. Now, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and open up a different tab here. You can just add that like that. What we're going to do in this tab is just write down problem and why resolve it. So these are the two important things that we want to get out of this survey when we look at it. We want to know what the problem actually is and why it's going to be important for them to resolve it. So that'll really come from these two columns. So let's just go and have a look at it here. So, okay, not every response is going to be perfect, so you're going to just have to go through one by one, down through them and pick them out. So let's see the problem here. What's your biggest challenge? Can you show me the most direct path towards getting a minimal viable product in the marketplace? Okay, so that's a great problem to solve. So what we can do is, I always like to frame the problems as like a how-to. I'm going to delete this one I did earlier so we can start fresh. And what we can do is just pop this in. And what I like to think about is, if I was writing this as a course or a piece of content, or like a blog post or a YouTube video, what would the title be? It's always just easiest to start with how to. So how to get a minimal viable product into the marketplace, let's say in 1 day, because they're looking for speed. That's what they said in their response here. Oh, let me go back to this tab. Okay, it would save time and aggravation. So that's a benefit. I'm going to close this down actually because I keep clicking back to it. So, you know, why do they want to resolve this? Why would they buy our product or read our blog post? It's to save time and aggravation. And they're really looking for a streamlined process. So that's another benefit of them maybe buying our product or service or reading our blog post. So get a streamlined process. So you can see already here, just reading one response, what I've got for me is a potential course that I could make, or even a potential section or lecture within a course, a potential blog post, a potential YouTube video that is tailored to my audience and that would really resolve a problem that they have. What are some of the benefits that I could mention at the start of that video or course, or put on the sales page or in a Facebook ad? Look, this is going to save you time and aggravation. You're going to get a streamlined process to get a minimal viable product into the marketplace in 1 day. That's a very good pitch and offer, and it resolves a pain point that people have. So that's only one answer. Now let's go down and have a look. Okay. What we can do again, same process. I'm just going to do 3 of these to give you examples of what you should be looking out for, and then obviously your responses are going to be different. So how to obtain a client's trust, I guess, as a digital marketer is really what they're asking here. And why would they want to do this? You know, grow your business steadily. That's why they want to resolve this, because they think trust is a big barrier to signing clients. And that's true. How can you get them to trust you? They're going to hand over money and access to, you know, their analytics or whatever. So this is a big barrier for a lot of people. How do you overcome that? That could be a great lecture or a course or a blog post or whatever. Could be a great piece of sales copy on a course or Facebook ads. So again, you just copy and paste. This is why this process is so beautiful and powerful, because there's very little work for you to do once you start to analyze it. So let's have a look here. This looks interesting. How does voice search affect SEO? This could be something interesting. You know, how to benefit from voice SEO maybe. Or how to rank number 1. From voice SEO on mobile, let's say, for example. So I'm just thinking about, you know, what does the how-to look like to resolve that problem? And why would they want to do this? You know, leverage voice SEO. To get to the leverage voice SEO. Now, why to get free traffic to your site? So you can see I'm using what I'm hearing from the customer here and adding how, you know, putting my spin on why they would want to do that. And this allows me, just looking at 3 responses, to find products and services that people desperately need and will pay money for, and also gather powerful sales copy that I can use on my sales page, in Facebook ads, in emails, and other marketing materials. So that is the process to analyze your survey results in order to find those product ideas and get that powerful sales copy. Would you like to gather valuable feedback from potential customers without even needing to send out a survey? I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do this, and this will really solve this market research problem for you. If you feel that you can't send out a survey, it just isn't something that your audience would fill out. So if you're thinking that this lecture is for you and you're going to have no more excuses. So the first way to get feedback is actually just go ahead and talk to somebody. Yes, as scary as it seems, talking to people can just be the most effective way to get feedback. Now you can call people up or you can meet people in person, but the key thing I want to say is that the questions that you'll be asking them are the same questions that we have in our survey here. So this is basically a script for you to do your market research. And for example, I was talking to somebody recently. I said, hey, what's the biggest single problem you have with your business? And he said, well, I've got 18 employees and managing them is a really difficult thing to do. And he said, I asked him, well, what difference would it make if you had a good solution to managing your employees? And he said, well, it would be fantastic. I could really focus on the higher level things in my business rather than managing them and being also almost a therapist to them, which is the opposite reason to why I hired them in the first place. I hired them to get rid of tasks, outsource things. And then I asked him, well, how difficult has it been for you to really manage your staff more efficiently? He said it's been very, very difficult. I've hired even a staff manager, but then they hire somebody who's poor, and then I have to fire them. So I'm not getting away from this problem. So that is a pretty serious problem. And if I could develop a solution for him, like maybe having a more defined hiring process, characteristics of people they're looking for, a culture within the company that's defined, that would be extremely valuable to him, so he could hand that to his hiring manager and there's going to be something consistent. Similarly, I could say, what's your single biggest problem in your personal life? He could say, well, you know what, I've got a 5-month-old baby and she doesn't sleep at night. Well, what difference would it make? Well, if I could sleep, I'd be less stressed at home, wouldn't fight with my wife, I'd have more energy for work, and I could get better results. Well, that's a pretty, good outcome. And then how difficult that has been? Very, very difficult. We've tried different books, different online courses, sleep training. It's difficult. So if I can develop a solution that would solve that problem for him, there's some very clear, urgent pain points, some very positive outcomes. So if I can do that, well, I'm going to do pretty well and sell a lot of my course or product or whatever. So that's number 1, talking. Remember, you have the script. Now, the second way that you can gather feedback without needing a survey is to come into a Facebook group that you have joined that has your target audience within it. Come down into the search bar here and you're going to search for some specific words that are really going to highlight some pain points of the people in this group. So for example, complaint is a word that you will see. I've seen complaints here about early requests for reviews. Now, this is a group for Udemy instructors, and basically it's not important for you to know what the problems are, but this has surfaced up a lot of problems that these people have. blurry video screens, that's kind of Udemy's technical problems. The early review system, that's Udemy's kind of system, and instructors aren't happy with it. So if I could design a way, or at least inform these instructors of how to beat that early request for review system, or how to record your videos so that they appear the best, well, I'm going to solve a lot of people's problems, and they're going to pay me, or at least I'll get their attention that I can monetize later on. So that is something you can do. Complaint, hate is another word that people type in here, that can surface a lot of pain points as well. Bottleneck is another great one as well. Let's see what this surfaces up. But what's the bottleneck for people in their business? Various bottlenecks. What part of course creation do you hate the most? I hate video editing. So again, we've got that hate word there. We've got 19 comments, people saying what all their pain points are. So that's another good word you can put in. Stress is maybe another word as well. So you can find out what's stressing people out, and that's going to surface up a lot of pain points. Then you can find out, what difference would it make? Well, if I could do video editing faster, I could make courses faster, I could sell more. And how difficult is it? Well, you're going to get a sense of that from reading the comments. So again, keep these 3 questions in mind. Now, the final way that you can gather feedback from potential customers without needing a survey is to really look at review sites and marketplaces. Now, for example, Udemy is an online marketplace with a built-in review system. So if you come down to any course, let's just say game design, click on the first course here. You can see the reviews here, and if you filter down to the 3-star reviews, this usually is good, because 5-star reviews, they're not really complaining about much. 1-star reviews, probably too negative, and really the 3-star reviews are kind of quite balanced reviews. They say some good points and some bad points. So let's just have a quick look at this. The sound could also be made more audible, so that's something there. Introduction, okay, audio is really low. That seems to be a consistent problem. Poor sound quality. Okay, how to program to skip certain lessons. So you can come down into the reviews and have a look at, what do people not like, and then you can create a product that solves all those pain points and really gives people more what they want. Now, where else do they have reviews? Well, if you had a digital product, you could come to Udemy and you wanted to create a course. If you have a physical product, you can come to Amazon. Built-in review system there, any product in the world. If you had a restaurant or was thinking of setting up a certain type of restaurant, you can come in and search, whatever it is, spas in your area. What are people giving out about? What do they not like? What are the pain points? You can do that for restaurants, hotel. TripAdvisor also has a built-in review system that you can search for the type of business that you are in, and to see what people are giving out about and not happy about. Other thing is for, say, small business, Google has a built-in review system as well. So you can check out, what are people giving out about in these dental places. You can come into the reviews, again, filter them down. Let's just look at the lowest rating and see what are the reasons that people have given this a low review, and that'll give you some ideas of the pain points that people are struggling with. So to recap, in this video, what we have done is look at 3 different ways for you to collect customer feedback even without needing to send out a survey, and that was to just talk to people and use these 3 questions as a script. Number 2 was to go ahead and go into the Facebook groups and search for those keywords like complaint, hate, bottleneck. And the 3rd way is to look at these review sites and marketplaces which just have an absolute huge amount of feedback. Now, 99% of new entrepreneurs ignore this, but you've got the information now, so there's no excuse not to get a brilliant insight into the pain points and the desires of your potential customers.